Hello everybody. Today is gonna be a little bit different videos than my previous ones because it's been created for She Overcomes platform, and today I'm gonna tell you my story. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Lena Cebula. I'm a wife and mother of three beautiful children. I'm human trafficking survivor, but today I have a thriving marriage and three healthy rambunctious kiddos. I'm blogger, I'm speaker, and I'm activist for women in need and victims of human trafficking. But my story didn't start here. It started a long time ago at Ukraine. That's where I'm from. So my parents didn't succeed at their marriage. They were alcoholics. They quit well-paying jobs, and government turned off our electricity, our hot water. So we starve most of the time. Myself and my two siblings. My home was infested with mice and cockroaches and mold, and my mother shaved my head up to probably like 6, 7 years old, maybe even older, so can contain the lice. And actually later on, it was very crazy that she was actually putting gasoline on my head just to control the lice. My home was full of strangers. I never knew what was going on in my house. Nobody was protecting me or taking care of me. So I ended up easy victim and been raped numerous times. 1 month before my 15th birthday, I had severe abdominal pain. And honestly, I didn't even know this pain can be so excruciating. I went to the hospital and ended up, I was in labor. I didn't know who her father was. I didn't know that I was pregnant. And when I delivered this baby girl, I knew that something's gonna be wrong because of my lifestyle. I was smoking, drinking, and I was finding any way to just forget about my surroundings in general. She had health complications and she passed away in 3 months. The people were celebrating Christmas and New Year, and I was burying my first child. I was 15 years old. Then it wasn't enough just drinking to turn off my brain and stop my mind go over and over with guilt and shame and condemnation for this precious little life. I started looking for another means to just quiet my mind, and I went on heavy drugs. I started using drugs that would be equivalent here to heroin. I was on heroin almost 3 years, and people were dying around me and going to jail and dying of overdose. And I decided to quit. I was looking for means to get out from the street and try to recover. I met this gentleman who introduced me to very rich looking woman, and she offered me a job. It was no specifics, just a job. And I was so excited at the opportunity. I was so impressed by the pleasantness of her home and food. And I said yes without thinking even what I getting myself into. Her team started working on me. I got the hair done in the salon. I got even fancier dresses, and they sent me to Israel embassy and told me the script and to get the visa because I was 18 years old. They helped me to get the passport, and they said, no, your visa denied. So they denied my visa, and everybody was angry around me, but told me there is another way. And I said, okay. I was still heavy on drugs. I don't know how I end up um, in the airport. I don't remember the customs. I don't remember um, any travels. One day I woke up and it was very hot. I remember like it was winter back home, but here was summertime, and I heard the Muslim call to prayer saying Allahu Akbar, and it was very strange and very different, and my surroundings were very, very strange. I get up to see where I was, and it was nothing familiar. Everything, the architecture and weather, everything was different. Later on, I find out I was in Egypt. I was very surprised how I ended up there, but I was sick from withdrawal, so I didn't really pay attention and didn't really care about anything much. There were few other girls from my city, and we traveled together. And honestly, it seems like paradise. It was beautiful. We have two guides with us. They fed us in amazing restaurants. We walk in the Red Sea. We travel. It was just amazing compared to my last few years of my life. I thought I had dream come true until next morning in one of the hotels where police raid our hotel and arrest us all. And they start asking us questions if we are victims of human trafficking. And we were stick to the story, and it was sure we were not until the next day. They let us go until the next day. Um, we've been brought in the middle of the desert and left with two very scary looking Arabs and made crawl under the barbed wire to cross the border. And then I understood that something really bad happened to me and I got in trouble. I've been sold in human trafficking, and I was in a brothel for 2 years, almost 2 years. The amazing part about it, maybe somebody gonna get scared on panic or anything else. For me, it was actually upgrade because nobody was raping me and beating me. I actually had food, I was clean and was able to make money. There I met one of my bodyguards who introduced me to God. I was so surprised about the way he talking about Bible and God, and I was curious. Then something happened back home, and I asked God for for like I was praying to God, and then asked my friend to help me. He brought me in Jerusalem, and I went to the Wailing Wall, which is prayer wall or Western Wall, and I prayed to God to help resolve the issue, and he did. He miraculously showed up for me, and I was so impressed and surprised that he would do this for me. I was alcoholic, drug addict. I didn't deserve his attention or his response, but he did it and he helped me. So after that, I decided to go home. I wasn't captive in the end. I pay off all my debts and I was allowed to go home. I sent some money home to my aunt because I thought I gonna start new life. I had enough money to buy some apartment and look for some normal job and have like normal living. When I came home, my aunt stole and spent all my money, and one of my other bodyguard who promised me to send me all my goods and my jewelry actually stole all my money there and my goods. So I end up starting from scratch again. I was angry and upset and devastated and heartbroken. And of course, what do you do in this situation? I just went on drugs again. And in my absence, drugs just swallow my city. So I became very easy. I became number one drug dealer in my city, right hand. And I had unlimited amount of drugs and money and influence because I thought that's gonna bring me peace. But it didn't happen. After a couple years of being so hardcore on drugs, I realized I gonna end up in a cemetery because there was no limits of my indulgence, and I decided to quit. So I left my city because no way I would be able to quit in my city. So I left, and I live with Christian people who help me to go through withdrawals. And honestly, I don't know what drugs mean to you, and maybe um, you think it's just something nice and easy. I quit cold turkey twice in my life, and I used everything. I was on heroin, cocaine. I used crack. I smoked marijuana, ecstasy. I used everything, and I walk away second time from it, and I thought I'm gonna die. Many people don't quit drugs because their body cannot handle withdrawal, and it's hard. If you ever have a baby, it's like labor and really hardcore flu for a week. Sometimes your organs shut down and you just passed away. By the grace of God, I recover, and I decided to have a normal life. I tried. I truly try. I have a job in the market for something like $5 a day, and it was very cold, and you not allowed to go eat or to move. And sometimes, like, if the owner decide not to pay you, they don't pay you. So it wasn't really exciting for me, and after a while I realized I cannot live like this anymore. And especially like when you get taste of the money and freedom and influence and anything that your heart desire, even like through this very sick crazy um, work, you cannot just change your path and just change your mind and do something different. You have to actually heal and recover, not only physically but emotionally and psychologically too. But I didn't. I just turned to familiar. Second time, I actually volunteer. I went and I sold myself. They told me that they cannot take me to Israel anymore because of 9/11, but they brought me to Canada. And of course, number one, what happened? I was on drugs again because no way a normal human being with a normal thinking will go through whatever I decide to submit myself to. But here in Canada, I have this amazing realization that I can start from scratch. This amazing country will help me if my heart desire to actually quit drugs and quit my work and pursue something different and start with a clean slate. I went to ESL classes. I learned English from level 0, and I was progressing very fast. Then I left my work and actually rented small room in a house, and I went on welfare for very little because I decided to go to school. I had a job in Canada Wonderland. They didn't pay well, but it was really good on my resume. And it was really struggle because I wanted to communicate, I want to speak, and I want to progress, but it was very, very slow improvement. Then my friend helped me to find a government credit job, school actually, sorry, because I really want to be a hairstylist. I finished that school with 96% average score, and I got my hairstylist license afterwards. and I was a hairstylist for many years. Then I decided to open salon because it was my dream. But if you little bit backtrack, when I went to hairstyling school, I met a boy, and he crazy fell in love with me. And where I came from, I never really thought I'm gonna be loved and have marriage and children and everything, because where I came from, I don't trust people, I don't trust um, men in general, and I never thought I could have love and peace and joy. But whatever happens, he fell in love with me like crazy, and he won me over, and our beautiful baby girl was born. And I thought I gonna be a um, good mother, because I have experience how not to be from my mother, and I decide to just, I don't know, fake it until I become it, because so far it helped me well. But I had a postpartum depression. I didn't know what I'm doing with that baby. I didn't know what I'm doing as a wife, as a mother. So it was very difficult time for me. And there was no drugs. I was perfectly clean for a few years already. And in that, I actually fall apart. I fall apart. I had the depression. I have anxiety and panic attacks. And I always thought if I would find someone who loved me, have a family, have home and peace, that's when everything that will set and my mind gonna be in peace. But it didn't happen. My husband invited me to go to the church with his family only for holidays. So I wanna be try to be nice to them, and I start showing up at church. And then after a couple years, I realized that the part that was missing, it's Jesus in my life. So I accepted Christ in 2011, and it was amazing. I didn't really change, nothing changed around me, but I got this amazing peace of who I am and where I'm going, and forgiveness for my past, forgiveness to whatever I didn't done. And it was beautiful, because now I start transforming, and it was amazing because I know who I am, I know why this is happening, and it's okay. You know what? It doesn't matter. I know I'm loved. I know I'm precious to God. I know that I'm His treasure. So that's how I treat myself. And this allowed me to love my husband, love my children, and love people around me with um, so much love and compassion and kindness, because first it starts with me. I forgive myself, and I'm gracious and kind to myself, because I was the product of my environment. So that's one thing I want to tell you, let it go, because it was in the past and it's already happened, and nothing you can do about it to change it. All you can do, just move on from it, and making better decisions, surround yourself with the better people, better circumstances. Pray. And right now, my mess became a mission. I published a book 4 years ago. God spoke to me to publish a book about my past. I never knew that 20 years after 20 years of silence, this is what I'm gonna be doing. But book been released last year, and it's been amazing. I thought people gonna take this as I don't know, as a shame and condemnation, will reject me and judge me. But the outcome was amazing, amazing. I was crying 3 days. I didn't want to write this book. I kept asking God, why do you have asking me do this now? I have totally different persona and I like it. But he's always right and his ways are better, because honestly I love it. I love where it's taking me. I love to speak about it. I love support other victims. I love be part of the community and organizations like Victory House and Fight for Freedom, organizations that fight against human trafficking and helping women and children in need. I own the salon. My dream came true. I had a salon for 2 years. I loved it, but I closed it down because it didn't fit into my reality anymore. I had 3 young children and I'm primary caregiver to them. And my vow to my husband was even before the marriage that I will take care of home and the children. And honestly, it's been such an amazing privilege to have these beautiful, healthy children and have this beautiful, healthy relationship in my home, to create that amazing, peaceful household for them, and be able to open and close the business without problems, without debts, and without anything. But I'm so grateful to God that I experienced that, because without it, I would maybe thinking, oh, because of the kids, I didn't try to run the business. But I tried and it was successful, and I chose not to have it. So it's freedom in that as well. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity. But you know what? The best part, when I launched my book and in church, in my church, in front of my friends and family, I launched my book and I share my story for the first time. And I was amazed. I love speaking. I feel amazing and comfortable on stage. I love sharing my story. I always thought it's story of shame and condemnation, but it's God's story of salvation. I'm so grateful that He gave me opportunity to write and publish this amazing book. First of all, I thought it's gonna be to empower and support someone else, but it was great for me just come back and look into my past from today perspective, when I'm healed and redeemed and forgiven, when I'm mother and wife. And it was completely different. Now I understand my mother better. I don't know who I would be without my husband, my God, my community. It's not that easy to have 3 children, no matter where you are, and it's very hard to be without support. So now I understand her. On top of it, they didn't have a really good relationship with my father. So there you go. You cannot give love to someone else. You cannot take care of someone else when you're so empty and so undertaken care of and so broken. And I understand this now. So we reconcile with my mother, with my father, with my sister, like with most of my family, which was really beautiful that it's come up from writing this book. But another thing too, I cry so much, but not because of the things that happen to me, but because of gratitude. I could be dead so many times over, but God has better plans for me. I cannot even tell you how amazing this transformation is before and after. It's just mind blowing. I could quit my drugs by myself. I met my husband by myself. I had my children by myself, but no way I would have peace and joy and contentment and love. I'm just overwhelmed with this grace of God that been poured over my life, my broken, um, wicked, bad life. It was the ashes. I'm telling you, I cannot even describe you how broken I was before. But God is a miracle creator, and that's what He did with my life. So you're never alone. You're never as bad as you think you are, because God gonna love you no matter where you are, no matter what you've done, no matter what you ever do. He's still gonna love you, because if He did this for me, He will do it for you. Trust me. Try Him. And that's why I'm doing this video, to encourage and empower you. No matter what you've done or been through, you can have peace and wholeness again. And if you would like to have my book, it's called Miraculous by Lena Cebula. You are welcome to get signed copy if you would like to contact with me as well. And it's lenacebula@gmail.com. And if you want to contact me and just tell me your story, I'm here to listen. I'm open and willing to listen and to support and to connect you with every organization that I'm part of if you need any support. And I love you and I appreciate you. And I'm so grateful for your time. Thank you and God bless.